All right. Mike, want to give the countdown?
All right, let's go. This is the final countdown of the 2021 Jelly Jam.
Final countdown.
5, 4,
What have you done?
3, 2, 1, Jelly Jam.
Good luck and fun to everyone.
Hey everybody, I'm Mike34, and I'm here with Squealer.
Hello everybody, it's the championship.
And we are underway with teams HoppieTheFool and RealCritical versus Domskee and HabKeineName. We saw last week a thriller match with RealCritical and Hoppie that was decided by a 497 Decker Blade. While they were playing from a losing position, ended up winning with a tie. And Domskee and HabKeineName have averaged over 20 points a round in this tournament so far. They've been on fire.
Wow, Mike's on top of it. I'm just here for me. But I gotta say, we'll talk about the scoring system here in a second. Mike, I gotta admit, I actually asked to commentate with you this week because you've really added to my enjoyment of the scoring system this year. With the strategy you and the missus have put into it, it kind of increased my understanding of the scoring system. So, listeners, keep an ear out for Mike. Put me on ignore, and you'll be able to follow along. And these runs have been exciting the entire 2 hours.
Aw, shucks, Squee, thanks. We see a glass
I've got more
ring.
nice things to say.
We see a glass ring for RealCriticals, which he cannot use because he didn't bring any of the ladies. Right now, we're looking to see some point momentum by finding some rings in the first 10 floors. Each ring that is equipped will get up to 1 point per runner. This is kind of an easy point to get as far as skill goes, but you have to be a little bit lucky as most of the rings only show up floors 1 through 9.
And you can see the runners are already off to a hot start. Chat, you can feel free to help us out as we're going along here, but I just saw an Iris for Hab, and did I see Champion and a Sky Sword for Hoppie?
And an ice ring for Domskee. Very good. Not only is that a point for their team, but it's agility and potentially quite a bit of extra damage on the jelly.
Well, Mike, so much for setting things up. We're already in the middle of this. Things are popping.
So you'll see something that you normally wouldn't see in a tournament pretty early here, and that's the runners fighting monsters on floor 1 or 2. What they're trying to do is have their capsule defeat a monster for what is loosely called a half point.
And guys, if you want to see what the scoring system is, I just put exclamation point tracker there in chat, and you can see the score sheet there. I gotta say that at first, I didn't think this would be a fun tournament for myself, but once I got to know the score sheet, I understood that really the meat and potatoes of this is in the middle, in the exploration, and that helps, at least helped me as a runner to stay organized. And I think it's gonna help the viewers as well. If you look, again, in the middle section, exploration, in parentheses, it's got the floors. So you know each group of 10 floors, what the goal is to get the point.
Domskee adding a fire ring to his ice ring collection. That's looking pretty amazing. And also, you see he scores 3-1 already. This is a strategy that RealCritical and Hoppie have run throughout the tournament, and that's not to take the point for bringing a weaker capsule monster. They tend to bring, looks like Sully this time, and that's going to give them some other advantages in the cave, like more output of damage on the jelly, potentially, if he doesn't defend 3 times. More tanking from that radish there, and a lot less speed used as he's slow and defends and has slow animations.
Whoa, and there's a Sonic ring for RC, which is some might consider the best ring that you can get just because agility is so important in the cave. And again, our runners are off to a hot start here.
Which ring?
Sonic.
No, I saw a witch ring on Domskee.
Hey-o! I walked right into that one.
It appears no name HabKeineName walked right into some buffalo who he's now farming for some low-level XP. Did I just see a second fire ring for Domskee?
Okay, so clearly cheats are on.
We see HoppieTheFool fighting some eagles. That's some pretty safe early experience, so you don't get beat by mimics or whatnot. Also, you have a 2% chance drop of a Eagle Rock, which gives you some more agility, which is pretty keen in the cave.
Yeah, and right now it seems like everybody's had at least some good luck, and this is really going to help their survivability here through the first part of the run. Also, just kind of looking at the scoring system, in the first round we did see like 1 or 2 runners try to do the Providence point, where you take in a pretty crappy team, quickly get the Providence, use it, and bring the good team in. It doesn't look like anyone's trying that today.
We saw a guy die momentarily for HabKeineName, but he must have had a regain or miracle that he quickly used. And he also found Ice Valk, which is a tier 3 attack spell. Domskee really wants Ice Valk because he can pair it with that Ice Ring.
So RealCritical's in this
Chat
race,
tells
but
me
he's
you
also
have an Ice Valk song.
Oh, okay. I didn't see Icy Valk, so I can't sing it. But yeah, in addition to being a runner, RC's also helped out in the background. For example, this score tracker that you see, he put together. And when you've got it pulled up, make sure that you notice that there's the blue and the orange. So for example, Hoppie and RC are in the inside and outside tracks if you're following along. And a water ring. Wow.
I didn't see who got the water ring.
That's, yeah, it's apparently in Dom's inventory.
That's amazing.
This is amazing.
I don't know how many runs I've went through without seeing a single ring. And there's Trick for Domskee, who's having a great start. That's a 20% attack boost on his entire party. Very nice to have against the Jelly.
And as Mike talked about earlier, it's really important that these runners are finding these early rings, because once you get past floor 9, there's really only a few ways that you can get it. There's a couple that occur in blue chests, and then of course if you were to die or Providence, you could go back in and find one again. Getting it out of the way early, it's super nice.
Firebird for HoppieTheFool, that can be useful later if he's going for a certain pointing objective. We keep talking about this jelly suite. What are we talking about here?
What jelly?
I keep talking about it, and other people are too, but
I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know. Hey, RealCritical gets the point for taking out a core without using any spells. Cores are infinitely weak to spells. So if you're physically attacking them, you risk not killing them and getting that massive experience that you would get sort of like slimes from that game Neats keeps talking about, like Dragon Heroes or something. So if you lose that experience, that can be a huge early loss, but RealCritical gets that point as HoppieTheFool may have to deal with some mimics here.
Yep, and we did see also earlier, he's just going to punch them, but we also saw he's got Firebird in his inventory.
Yep, so he's opted to save some MP here to just power him down because he got those safety levels. Trick for HabKeineName and another core for RealCritical.
Yep.
There's Deflect for HabKeineName, which Normally is about the most useful spell in the cave, but there is a point incentive later for it.
In chat, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but has anyone paired a tier 3 yet with their elemental rings?
All right, Hoppie's approaching his first core. He's going to try to beat it down. Domskee also with the core on screen.
And RC with the Deadly Rod.
Oof, that is nice to have early on. Sadly, all of Hoppie's cores ran, but he should get another chance, and there's another one on screen now.
So anybody newer to this game, Deadly Rod and Fatal Pick are two of the big early items that we're looking for because it inflicts instant death on most enemies. There's a Dragon Spear for Hoppie. Maybe we better get into that while we see it.
Deadly Rod for HabKeineName, and I just realized that Domskee brought Tia.
And these drops just keep on popping. Dragon Spear is like the biggest agility upper in the game. He does have Artie who can wield it. There it is now. It looked like, did he have a mini shield there? And like you just said, more good stuff for the other runners too. This is a lot of stuff.
And RealCritical and Hoppie have made up that 1 point deficit from not bringing their capsule already with the added perks of bringing Sully. So you kind of have to gauge what points are worth it for you and what points you want to forego for survivability.
So if our runners could just stop raking in the riches here, I'll get back to my point. Deadly Rod and Fatal Pick can be equipped by the ladies or Artie, and they inflict instant death, allegedly 80% of the time. So that's a huge tool in being able to get safely down the cave to the jelly. And you really notice when your team does not get one of those.
Optionally, if they're desperate, they could use the good Deadly Sword, which is found exclusively before or 20, and then after 20 there's a bad one that can be found. Maxim can use that and also has 80% kill rate. However, you'd like Maxim to be using more powerful options on the jelly, so you nerf your chances of getting a kill on the jelly on floor 9 if you use that Deadly Sword.
Now, I did say earlier that on this score tracker, go ahead and plug that in here, that the middle part of it is where you're really going to be following along a lot. But in the upper left, you'll see one of the other things we're going to keep an eye on is if anybody can get 2 cursed items that are identical in their inventory, because if they find a curse lifter, they could potentially uncurse one of those 2 items to get the point.
There's a heal strong for RealCritical, so he's in the driver's seat right now. He's going fast. He has a Deadly Rod. He has a heal. If he wanted to, he could run straight to 60. And it's getting kind of late for some of the runners to find a core. Not only to get the point, but also to get some good early XP. Cores appear floors 11 through 13.
Yeah, and it looks like everybody did get the capsule monster defeat an enemy incentive there.
Yep, and 2 people have the ring point also, but not much in the way of cores yet. I did just see an iris pop up on HoppieTheFool screen. If they get 5 irises, they will have a combined point.
and that should actually be pretty tough. Irises don't drop that often, but we've actually seen it a few times already in this tournament.
In the first week, we saw that happen within 20-some minutes, which is extremely rare. Iris is maybe the only death incentive you have in this tournament, in that if you die, all the irises drop out of your inventory and are more likely to be found. So, like,
ooh, deep super strats there. And from what I understand, even if you die and lose your iris for this scoring system, it does still count. Is that correct?
yes, you just have to find 5 in the entirety of the run. We saw some Wispies flashing their movement strats on Domskee here. That's 2 encounters in a row. That's going to hurt if they use their flash attack a lot. There it is. Ouch.
Oof. And of course, as announcers, Mike, we won't be judging our runners on their lack of skill, but chat, feel free to jump in.
And so far in this tournament, we've seen a plethora of great skill from all of these runners. Great movement strats. Domskee, as far as I knew, was a totally new runner, and he is surprised and impressed everybody so far. I watched his first match and was very impressed. And last week I got clobbered by him in HabKeineName. So I'm excited to see what they can do here, Deering for HoppieTheFool.
Now, is he one who already had the ring point? He is, so that didn't get him a point. But yeah, your point is well taken. That's what's one of the most beautiful parts about Jelly Jam, is that you don't have to be an experienced runner. You may want to consider next year your interest. Dom didn't have a lot of experience, came in, and here he is in the finals. And I'm sitting here announcing the finals.
So you see HabKeineName fighting some, because you normally wouldn't fight sand gorums and green clays here. He's doing this in the hopes of getting a fruit drop, which is a point incentive.
Yep, and you'll see that on the 21 through 30 point system there. And you'll also want to keep in mind that those are the exact floors that you can get each point. And that's kind of the beauty of it I've found. At first I didn't get, well, why wouldn't you just get the point at any point in your run? But each 10 floors, you can kind of put to rest that one incentive. Whether you got it or not, you move on. And I've kind of enjoyed that part of it.
And he's in a little bit of trouble now, trying to get that point, as a lot of these points can get you in trouble, as I found out last week. He doesn't have any regains or miracles, and lost 2 people in that fight. Also, HoppieTheFool appears to have gone offline momentarily.
Now, I'm pretty sure he's not manipulating anything into his run, because he already did that early on.
Here we see Domskee's fighting some wood gorums, hoping to get a secret fruit drop. That'll get Fumi to his M form and actually devolves him also. So pretty cool to see that. Although I do see Tia dead on her screen. And RealCritical going for some pugs here.
Yep.
He's trying to get a flame fruit drop, which would M form Zeppy if he chose. Now, since here Zeppy, Darby, and Sully are all kind of banned capsules for that point, but since they already went that point, if he wanted to switch over and M form Zeppy for the M form point, he wouldn't be losing out on anything.
Now, I didn't notice RC did win that Battle of the Pugs. I didn't see if he got a flame fruit or not.
I did not see a drop there.
Yeah, and in Dom's fight, he did beat all the Gorums, and he did get a drop. It just wasn't the fruit he was looking for. It was one of the other enemies that dropped the sour cider.
Which makes him feel sour indeed. So I'm curious to see what HabKeineName does now. Without many revives, Gonna get cores, like a lot of the runners didn't here. It's low level, wants the points, but wants to stay alive. So to see his strategy here will be interesting.
Well, and I think true to his style, he's going for it. He goes for the points, and he tries to deal with the ramifications of it later, and that's what makes him a really exciting runner to watch in these tournaments.
Was he in the finals last year as well?
Now that I do not know.
I know he tends to get pretty far in this tournament. I think the format really goes along with his play style. He's really a cautious and steady player. 2-hour formats, he tends to get pretty deep. All right, I did miss to see if RC got a flame fruit drop there. Chat can help us out.
Yeah, on that particular fight, it looked like he did not get it. Now, the good thing about the 20s for the point incentive, and this is, again, a credit to Ellie and the really fun point system he's put together, there's going to be lots of opportunities in the 20s to get those fruits. But after Pugs, is it pretty much Evil Fish? And that's it?
That's right. Yeah, Pugs and Evil Fish are concurrently on 27, and Evil Fish are the only ones on 28, 29. Last week we saw Domskee do some pretty cool movement with the fish, so I'll be watching to see if he does that again.
And did we see Providence there?
He Providenced or died, I'm not sure. It was looking kind of in dangerous straits there. And I don't think he changed his team either, so that would just be kind of a survival Providence.
So chat is saying he Providenced, and I cannot remember his equipment setup, if he just did that to get another shot at early chess, or if he actually had something in inventory he wanted to keep.
Well, keep in mind, he had a pretty bad start for getting early points. He didn't get the core point, and I don't believe he got the ring point either. So if you're about to die, it makes a lot of sense, I think, to go ahead and Providence.
Yeah, this could be a really good strategy.
Get a second chance at those points. Yeah, exactly.
And there's still like over an hour and a half left, and so he knows he's got a ton of time to give it another shot and rack up some of those early points.
And last week he died right about the same portion, came back, got down to the very deep floors. So he's certainly capable of making up for having to Providence 20-some minutes in.
And one of the
ugly room for RC, by the way. Look at that.
Oh man. Let's keep it behind this before.
Wow.
Nice dodges. You got it.
Oh, that was beautiful. Great job, RealCritical. You live to die another day. I believe he's the deepest in the cave on floor 30.
Whoa, whoa, we've got a little debate maybe starting in chat. Who is the best wife?
Suppose the best wife is the only wife who can actually wear the engage ring, correct?
Ooh.
So RealCritical's fighting some lions here. Not only are they in his way, but they have a chance to drop a lion thing, which is another agility boosting item. Oh, we have bees for HoppieTheFool. If he gets the lion thing drop, it also gives some ATP boost. So if you have some agility on Artie, a lot of times you want to throw that on Decker. He'll hit harder and your team will be faster. I just saw, okay, looks like Hoppie got past. Some bees might have to go buy some more. Bees are very quick. They have an attack all immobilize skill. They're not fun.
And there we see RC doing the patented Evil Fish doorway trick, guaranteeing that he'll get the surprise attack, as perfected by Mike 34.
And Domskee as well, actually, in this tournament. He did it last week, which, as a new player to do that strat was very impressive. Yeah, RC is flashing the flashy strats and using Fireball to, which is their weakness, to good effect. It's
And
the
he gets
Charm Fruit drop.
Sweet.
No Name here is a room full of cores. Looks like he's gonna be able to snag that point. And we see a 5-3 temporary lead here for Hoppie and RC.
Yeah, and looking at the score sheet, really only RC so far was one of the runners that got the attack inputs point for defeating red cores. So there's going to be an opportunity way later down the road if Hab and Dom make it back to the beginning of the run where they can maybe get that point again.
Looks like HabKeineName just got that point. Unfortunately, Decker died. And RC is in another kind of tricky room. We'll see how he handles it. I'm guessing he'll pull the Medusa back and take two 50-50s on it. Then there's one 50-50.
Oh, the other guy's jamming him up.
Oh, yep. He might have to fight his way through one of these encounters. Probably not these guys. The Medusas and the Draconians all have AoE attacks that you want to avoid.
And as we talk about some of these movement strats and point out some of the really great moves, we've even seen some so far, I should point out that there is an Ancient Cave Discord, and at the very top of the channel list, there is a new tab called Resources. And there's all sorts of different resources in there, like guides and such. There's also a new video that's a movement strategy guide that our own RealCritical here put together recently. You may check it out.
It's very bad luck that so few of the runners didn't get any cores there. That's a pretty commonly you see point, but this is the second round I've seen where there was only one or even fewer red cores that were punched down. Fortunately, No Name has just received that point, so that's half of them.
Yep, so I may have misspoken before, but now each team has one of those points, and the other two will still have an opportunity potentially later to pick that up.
So, Domskee here is trying to get the fruit from the pugs. They can summon more pugs, they can AoE you. He has Vortex, which they're weak to, and he has a healing tile in here, so if they beat him up a little bit, he can just replenish after the fight.
And they're strong for Hab as he tries to strengthen his second attempt here into the cave.
There are 5 healing spells that the runners can find, and they definitely want to get those and get them early. Even though Strong is the weakest of the healing spells, it's also one of the most MP cost-effective, so runners really like to get it.
And it's essentially almost like refilling your HP between fights for free. It's what it feels like. It's so cheap.
So Domskee threaded the needle of survivability and pugs pretty well there. Sadly didn't get the drop, and now he has to decide if he wants that healing tile, if it's worth encountering this mob here. RealCritical getting blue cores. 2 of them, that's Bover.
Ooh, and there's a deadly rod for Hoppie, so now both Hoppie and RC have deadly rods in their inventory.
And this is an incredibly tight race at this point. RealCritical and Hoppie both farther, both really good tools, but Domskee has a wealth of rings that are good for the jelly as well. So pretty close so far.
Yeah, and as we've seen, a jelly kill in itself doesn't mean it's the end of the match. The scoring system is so balanced that you're going to see teams accumulating points way all the way up to this 2-hour mark. And just about every match has been really close. And we still have a ton of time left.
HoppieTheFool fighting these plants. They attacked twice. He used Firebird, which they're weak to, but it didn't kill either one of them. So he's having to finish them off after taking a bit of a beating, but fortunately no one died. With a free sword for RealCritical, that can be a pretty helpful tool if he wants to farm Hedoras later to get Hedora Rock drops. Those are a jelly killing item that is known as a finisher because it does 3 attacks with 1 IP.
There's an earring for Dom, which technically, because it goes into the ring slot, could be a point, but he already, of course, has that point.
Yeah, times about 3. We see a blue chest and Hoppie screen, but he's gonna have to go through a treasure room to get it. We'll see if it's worth the risk. Also, RealCritical is about to fight Garbosts, who drop Cancer Rock, which is another finisher, so he'll probably want to fight that.
Alright guys, so what we're playing in chat right now is what's in the box. What do you guys think is in that blue chest in Hoppie's stream?
I've watched enough of Hoppie's marathons to know that that's a Gades blade.
Oh really? I think it's going to be a second Sky Sword.
Domskee going after some more pugs. Still trying to get that point. It's taken a lot of time. We're at 34 minutes and he's on floors 25, 27. Really trying to nail that point down. An Iris ring for no name. As a lover of Iris, he's happy to get that. Did anyone guess Water Jewel? That was the item in the blue chest for HoppieTheFool. No Cancer Rock for RC. He'll keep trying.
Now I missed it, Mike, but Chad is saying that Dom did a Mike movement on pugs.
Oh, he moved it up into the door? You know, his movement is just so good for a newer player. I can't express enough how impressed I am with him. Looks like he's going to do some more pugs here in a moment.
But that's only for people who like to study and practice. Why would anybody do that?
Beats me. RC and RealCritical, I mean, HoppieTheFool haven't practiced at all, and here they are in the finals.
No salt there.
No, they've done really well. I've really enjoyed their runs. And notice, by the way, how Domskee, who's perhaps frustrated with no drop so far, is targeting 3 of the pugs only. He wants that last pug to summon some more of them. He's just gonna keep them coming until he gets that drop.
I don't think we've mentioned it yet, but runners are going to be keeping an eye out specifically for these blue crabs, which are called Garbos for reasons unknown, but they drop Cancer Rock on occasion, which is a very important tool and potentially beating the jelly. Cancer Rock, there you got it. You got the Cancer Rock. Cancer Rock has an IP effect called Scissor Slash, which is essentially getting 2 physical attacks in 1 turn.
Critical hasn't got a Cancer Rock yet, but as he's opening, he finds a Red Saber, which is a finisher in itself as a 3x attack. Sadly, Domskee, after all those pugs slain, does not get the drop. He's gonna try to maneuver these evil fish behind this door. Let's see if he gets it down.
It looks tricky to me, and remember, if he makes one wrong move, he could be in some difficult waters here. Well,
he has it now. He's gonna wait. He's gonna get 1 step behind it, follow it to the door, and boom, instant back attack. Well done, Domskee.
It's pretty humbling when you see a new player already better than you. So.
Hey, so we see HoppieTheFool fighting some shadows, which you normally avoid. I guess he wants a Gloom Jewel drop. You think that's right, Squeak?
Well, I don't know what floor he's on, but could he also be going for the survive an instant death?
Oh, that's right. They have a 25% kill rate on their as a vile laughter attack. It's the lowest probability instant death attack on these floors, and they use it with some regularity and aren't that dangerous outside of it. So it's really good to go after them for this point. If you happen to have a jute helm like I did in practice last night, then you can survive any instant death attack, and they can't even kill you.
So I'd never even noticed that before, Mike. I bet you did. That it just depends on what floor you're on, a reason that you would be fighting these shadows. I guess if you're on floor 40, you're wanting them to try to insta-kill you, but if you're on... Are you saying that they appear on 41?
No, they're 38 through 40. So as long as you see them, if you haven't survived a deadly yet, you're good. And there's Domskee getting the back attack on these fish again. He's trying to get that fruit drop. We are almost
so
at 40 minutes, but he's giving it a go.
Even
There's a
plays
vile
chipping in.
laughter. Vile laughter misses, and that's half the point earned.
Yep.
By Hoppie. RC's gonna maybe hope a terminal blow misses from these assassins, but that's an 80% death attack. Dolly, rip. He does not survive. He'll have to try again. Hoppie is evidently very angry at these shadows and pulls out a sky splitter to take them out. With authority.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mic drop.
Last chance for a fruit on floor 29 for Domskee, but I saw some evil fish. He's gonna go and try that back attack again. Hopefully this time he gets it. He's certainly earned it. All right, and he can do it where they're at right now. But he has to decouple it from the it's circling the door. See, he just decoupled it, which is really cool that he knows how to do that. I'm really impressed. Now he's gonna move up, right, and but he has to.
Oh, he didn't pop the door?
He has to pop the door.
Oh!
Yeah. Oh no.
He
Only
didn't.
two of them. He's okay.
Okay, yeah.
So opening it. You go ahead, sweet. You can start.
So when you open a door, it counts as a move. But if you kind of slam on the controller up, you can sometimes get all the way through there. And I think it just depends on the enemy. I think in that case, you can correct me, if he had slammed up, he would have gone through and not been touched. It just really depends on the enemy.
And he didn't get the drop either. That's so unfortunate. He spent probably 12 minutes trying to get this fruit drop, and it has been very elusive, and that happens when I've been in practice. I think Miss Mike cursed quite a bit after killing like 16 groups of pugs or something ridiculous and never getting it. So RC is having kind of a face-off with this shadow. Do you know what's going on there?
Bathroom break?
Maybe he's giving him an intimidating stare. Hey, what is that on Domskee's screen? There's a blue chest he seemed to forego.
I'm sure that's what it is. He's so confident.
He opened
had
this
a
one.
legitimate
Okay.
one.
So we're on blue mimic floors, which are incredibly scary. They've killed multiple runners. In fact, in one heat, they beat both RealCritical and Hoppie. In the same round there, there's a dark mirror for HabKeineName. That's a great find. Anyway, if they happen to be blocking a doorway you have to go through or on the stairs, you're probably dead. But if you manage to beat them, you can get a rare point. We've seen that in this tournament.
There's another deadly
Second
rod
deadly
for
rod.
RC. Yeah.
Which
Now
is
he doesn't
really
actually
good.
have two characters who can use it, right?
No, however, it's still very helpful because you get a Curse Lifter, ideally your Curse Lifter is going to be used on a Deadly Rod.
Yep.
Because the Deadly Rod has a fractional that you can use 3 times. It does 1/8 of the hit points of an enemy. So for the Jelly, that's going to open you up around 1200 damage, and then you use it in round 2 also. Very useful. Now with the point system, you get a point if you have both a cursed and uncursed of the same item. That takes all the guesswork out of RealCritical about what he might want to use a Curse Lifter on later. Say he had 2 Fatal Picks. Does he want to use it on the Deadly Rod to get the extra damage on the Jelly, or does he want the point? Since he has 2 Deadly Rods, now he can both get the benefit of the fractionals and the point, should he find that Curse Lifter.
Yep, optimal situation. And while we were talking about Deadly Rods, Dom picked one up as well.
We're seeing a tight score still, 5-4. Doesn't look like RealCritical was able to survive a deadly attack. So that's an opportunity for HabKeineName and Domskee to catch up on.
Alright, so as we kind of advance here, we're getting into, some of our runners are getting close to 41 to 50, right? And that's when they'll be trying to get a jewel drop from one of the enemies.
Yeah, RealCritical's just hit ninja floors. They are not our friends.
No. Ninjas are mean.
Now,
So here's Hab, and what I've seen from him historically is he's a big risk taker when it comes to racking up points. He's with this evil fish. I'm going to keep an eye on what he does here. He tries to ram into the side. He does get the surprise attack, but it's just 1.
So had there been 4 of them and he did not get a surprise attack, they may have been able to hit him 4 times for 60 plus damage. Average HP on Decker alone on these floors is around 240, so it's a dangerous game.
Yeah, in my experience, well, there's a Decker Blade.
Decker Blade for Domskee.
We got it dropped. We got it dropped, finally. Decker Blades have been hit and miss in this tournament, but Dom just hit, and Decker Blade is the key item that you're looking for your jelly kill.
It is the best item in the cave. It takes 50% of any enemy's HP, plus a random modifier and a modifier for being in the front row, so it can do up to 6,200 damage on the jelly. It might even be 6,250, I forget.
So here's Hab again. He's not going to try any strats. He's just going to YOLO it. He gets the surprise attack again, and we'll see if he gets his charm food drop.
And he doesn't have much to worry about, because he has a Firebird, which will take 3 of them out at his level per cast. So even if there's 4 of them, he can just use it on 3, and he doesn't even need to try to get the side attack. Oh, but sneak attack by the Ammonites, and they are coming out swinging with Pinnacle. Fortunately, they did not. Fortunately, they did not surprise him.
Yep. And you're exactly right. He has the freedom, because he's got already with the agility, with Firebird, he's got the freedom to just ram into the side of Evil Fish. As long as he's not getting surprise attacked by Ammonites, you're right, he's in a good position there. And there's a Mist Rapier for RC. You never know when you might need an extra 3 times attack weapon for the jelly, so he'll put that in his back pocket.
Sully was acting a little bit hungry for Hoppie there for a moment, but he changed his mind. Maybe we'll feed him later. I didn't see why RC's fighting these guys. Some archaic movement traps. You'll have to tell me about those later.
So I think we're getting deep enough now. We can talk a little bit more about what people are looking for the jelly. In general, I think there's 2 classes of attacks for the jelly: fractionals and finishers. Decker Blade is the big fractional that we're looking for. The other fractionals often are occurring later, like Mythblade and Old Sword. But as far as finishers, we're looking for, again, those Cancer Rocks that we were going for before. Anything that is multi-attack or puts a multiplier on your IP attack like that mystery.
No Name is not in a pleasant room right now. He has a treasure room he has to go through. He has to fight these guys who are dangerous. There's a lion about to get a 50-50 on him if he doesn't bring him to the door. And then who else knows what's else in that room. Domskee also has a treasure room, but this is a lot more manageable. He has some cores to potentially take. The stairs are right there. Looks like, oh, and we have ninjas for HoppieTheFool. Lots of things going on right now.
Yep. And so this is where it can get a little bit tricky if you do use the strategy of using your Providence early on or get an early death. Is there things in the cave that can just... Yeah, this is going to be iffy.
Now, it's nice that he has Firebird because they're weak to that, but if they spam Tentacle, he could be done. Fortunately, they didn't. He's going to be fine on this fight. And, you know, Domskee's position is so good right now. He has Decker Blade, he has Zap, and all those Elemental Rings, since he brought Tia, who is a spellcaster, unlike Guy, those Elemental Rings are going to come into play on the Jelly fight. Air Whip.
Do we know if he's got the, yeah, again, a good reason that a good thing he brought Tia, because she can use that. That'll help kill Ghidorahs. Do we know yet if Dom has a tier 3 to match with those rings?
I haven't seen it drop. Maybe Chat or Sin can help us with that.
And what were his rings again? It was fire and ice?
Yeah, fire, ice, and I thought you said maybe water in his inventory. I never saw it drop.
I remember who got that one.
We see HoppieTheFool fighting Bryn's lizards. They drop Twist Jewels, a popular trinket within the community, and also a high agility boosting item. In addition to that, if both runners get jewel dropped from 41 to 50, they're going to earn half of the requirements to get that point. So they both need to get it. And Hoppie's trying right now.
A trinket? Just representing their rocket.
Oh, yeah.
Twist Jewel is super important. Adds like, what is it, 40 agility?
30, I think, but it's a lot. It's the highest. It's the highest agility item outside of the Dragon Spear, which we've also seen this round.
It really is 30, but I like to overestimate.
It feels like 40. It's super helpful. And if one of the runners get it, where it really helps you is later against Archfiends. It gives Artie that agi push to go before them. If he has a deadly equipped, and he can actually get his 80% kill off before they get their 80% kill off on your party.
So I'm really keeping an eye here on Hab. He's still in that really difficult room. He's still trying to get surprise attacked. And we
got the 50-50 on the squids, but then an Ammonite moved right into him again on the side. We'll see how this goes. No fruit drop, unfortunately. Unfortunately, though, he didn't get surprise attack. HoppieTheFool murdering some more ninjas.
And we haven't even seen the stairs yet for Hab.
Good thing he had those levels because he got knife throwered. Look at the HP on his party. One more knife thrower and he would have been toast. But as it stands, he's full of IP.
Living right. But yeah, that's at least the second Force Ninja fight for him.
I saw a magic fruit on RealCritical, and that's pretty useful because he's running Sully, who's a very slow feeder. To get Sully really helpful on the jelly, you need to get him to form 4, which is a lot of feeding. And you can't even M-form quickly like you can with Darby and by feeding to 3. So magic fruit fills 8 bars up on your bar. Go ahead, sweet.
Yeah, so I'm trying to understand why he went into that treasure room now. The stairs are right there. I was about to say that the blue mimics were on the stairs, but it turns out he just wanted to hang out in that super tough room.
He might have been, knowing he had Firebird, he might have been really trying to get that point for the evil fish that he saw in there.
It had to be.
a long journey, but maybe he'll tell us later. We see Domskee trying to survive that Lee attack now. He might have already done it because it looks like he's killing it. I didn't see the Vile Laughter miss, but...
In case you were wondering, it does count as a dodged instant death attack if the Vile Laughter is on a capsule monster and misses.
A couple of weeks ago, we saw those Vile Laughters taking everybody out. They killed like 7 characters, but it's been a lot nicer today.
And that's another good point about the tracker. If you have some question about exactly how the scoring works for a specific point incentive, a lot of the points have a little question mark off to the side. If you just hover on that question mark, it gives you some better detailed information about that point incentive.
When looking at the runners' positions, we see the HoppieTheFool and RealCritical are farther down in the cave with some good survivability items and with a 1-point lead, but that's not necessarily to say that they are leading in the overall tournament. They missed some points that HabKeineName and Domskee can still get, as well as Domskee in excellent jelly kill position right now, and so far in the tournament, he has got to the jelly every time.
I'd just like to point out, so have I. 1 for 1's
Well
a pretty
done.
big sample size.
Another Sky Splitter for Hoppie. He is showing off the power of the Sky Sword.
Use
It's
it or lose
expensive
it, I
100
think.
IP, but...
Yeah.
Okay, there's a C ring for Domskee. He's found about 5 rings he can equip already. But this one gives you 10 agility, so he's going to throw it on, get some more agility. Which has to figure out who to put it on because he has so many rings. And HabKeineName is catching up. He's only 8 floors now behind Domskee, getting some blue cores.
And even though that's kind of the beauty of our 2-hour format here, is even though some of our runners have spent a lot of time trying to get some of the points, sometimes not getting it, there's still plenty of time to do what they need to do in the cave. We'll just see if the cave cooperates.
Speaking of points, RealCritical's going after the Siren point. He took out the very dangerous Armordites, who can hit you twice and beat you down to death if, for example, this Tralala were to hit his whole party. He wants 3 of his characters to get status effect, and all of them did. So he got the point, but now he's sleeping for a while. And with his Door on Me, now they could be confused. In theory, Artie could wake up and murder his entire party, like he's doing right now.
For example.
Also, he could stay stun-locked with this Siren for the next hour and 5 minutes, and that could be the rest of the tournament for him. They're very dangerous. So gosh.
And this is why RC really probably shouldn't be messing with Sirens, because he has a history. They had a really messy breakup a while back.
But he defeats the fight. The confused Artie decides to attack the Siren, and he moves on. Second deadly rod for Hoppie, so Curse Lifters help them a lot. There's the second find of Ice Valve for HabKeineName. Thanks for entertaining us all with that, RC. That was fun. Alright, green cores now. Very important for Domskee before he gets to ninjas. They all run away. They give you a lot of levels, and you want to be, I'd say, in a tournament setting, maybe 23 through 25 to ninjas. He's 23 now, so low end of that range.
So RC is fighting these Thunder Bears, and it's not just because they're in his way or getting experience. This is still within that floor range that if they drop a Thundo Jewel, he gets a point. Is that right?
You know better than me. I never farmed them for it. No, I don't know about Thunder Bears. I've gone mostly after the Twist Jewels and the Earth Jewels for that point incentive. Face check on Domskee with some Hedoras. Let's see how he handles this.
Yeah.
He's risking it. He gets the... Okay, that was really good.
Moved his air whip to the front row. So in this game,
good.
rows do matter. we could have a long conversation about that, but the short of it is, if you're in the front row, whether you're the enemy or the protagonist, you're going to do the most damage and take the most damage.
Now you got some cores hanging out in this room. We got stairs. You got blues. Spido Jewel. Maybe he'll try for that elusive 4-turn jelly kill. That would be nice.
And unfortunately, Spido Jewel is one of the least favorite blue chest items in the game. It does have a cool IP effect, as Mike alluded to, but it rarely is actually helpful or useful.
Green core stays, so he's going to take that XP to the bank with a blue core. It's Boberton.
I would rate that one a mini Bobra. Very nice.
So on the Bober scale, what's the difference between 3 cores and 4 cores thing?
Just the level of annoying voice that I do.
Alright, so if we see 4 cores stay, I'm expecting to hear some annoying voice, Bober time.
We might not be invited back to RPG Limit Break.
Another green core stays for HabKeineName. For Domskee, HabKeineName finds Destroy, which is a spell that does a 50% deadly. It's a nice thing to have in your back pocket.
And once again, action's going fast. Hoppie just picked up Rally, which is a really good, cheap way of revival, and it makes it so you no longer have to worry about getting regains and miracles from red chests. It's really a relief when you get Rally.
So I'm curious to see, as the runners are getting closer to 65, how Team Hoppie and RealCritical go for this Sphinx point. Both runners have to affect the status of ailment on a Sphinx, and they're not affected by much. They can be silenced, paralyzed, or poisoned. Now, if they don't have a freeze ball to paralyze, and they don't have deflect to silence, since they've already foregone the point of a capsule monster, they could feed Darby up to 2 and then poison it. So I want to see if they're going to try to do that. We see Hoppie going, by the way, for the status effect point. He did not get it back-to-back. Go ahead, Squee.
Well, and I misspoke earlier. When RC was fighting the Thunderbears, it was not going to be for a potential point. He was too deep. He's actually in the 51 to 60 range. So the point he's going for right now, as we saw earlier with the Sirens, is he was trying to get the status effect infliction.
Oh no. Do you see what's happening with Hoppie right now?
Yeah,
he did not. Okay, he should be okay. He did not kill the armor date. And, okay, now he did. And he has 3 people with status effect. He's gonna get the point and run. Hoppie famously died to status availments in a tournament with Guy the Trader. So he doesn't want to repeat that. He's out of here. Domskee with interest here.
Yeah, so if you want to give HoppieTheFool a follow or check out his channel later, you can find a clip called Guy the Trader, and it is absolute gold. Now, let's talk a little bit of strategy here. Because isn't there, I know we talked about this before, isn't there a much easier, safer way to try to get status effects inflicted without putting your team at risk?
Yeah, the really best way, in my opinion, to do this is if you can lower your agility. The 2 things I like to do. Let me explain my strat for this.
Okay.
I like, first of all, if I'm under level 25, you can face check them and run away, and they'll do their do-ra-mis on you, but you already have your escape input in, so you can't get stun locked like that.
Right.
But if you have too much agi, it doesn't work. Also, what I like to do is unequip everybody that I can, so they can't beat me down to death if I'm confused. So it's as entertaining as it is to watch these guys do this. There might be... Oh, there's deflect for Hoppie. That's for the Sphinxes. He can mute one.
Plus, from what we know about agility and how it works with escaping, as long as you have the slowest character in your party slower than Sirens, there's a chance that the Sirens will go first before you escape. You'll get the point, and with no risk. So,
What is their agility? Do you know? I do not.
I don't know. It's pretty low, but not as low as Dexter's.
Okay, I didn't see any twist jewels drop yet.
No.
We're at the hour mark. I like to be around floor 60 at this point. Some of the runners are, and some will have some catching up to do. I saw, we see the points getting a little further away for RC and Hoppie, but again, that's partially due to them being farther in the cave. In theory, both HabKeineName, Domskee can both get the Siren point as well as surviving the Deadlies and the Twist Jewel. By the time they're at the floor, RealCritical and Hoppie are, they could be ahead in points, but they got to watch that timer too, because they want to get down to the Jelly, and in Domskee's case, get a pretty good chance at a kill.
And this is, again, I don't know if this was on purpose or just a happy accident, but this is, again, a credit to the scoring system that Ellie put together. You can see on the scoring system, again, if you pull up the tracker page, in the exploration section, it's organized in a way that there's a point incentive for every 10 floors. And that makes it easy then, and when you're in the middle of a run like we are right now, to go back and see where players actually missed points. So that helps you to see where a team that's behind maybe could make up. When I say behind, I don't just mean in score, I mean in floors. But it also shows you where then if a team were to Providence or beat the Jelly and go back in, where they might be able to get even more points. And that's why these runs have not been over until the very last second ticks off the clock, because there's so many ways the teams can score.
Domskee wisely cutting from those ninjas there. They knifed Thor, he didn't get the 50-50. He can take a breather, recuperate, and engage them again. I see RC's fighting some dragons and getting gloom splashed after a deadly miss. That's giving me some PTSD.
I heard about that, man.
Interestingly, he fought the red dragon first. If he's trying to get the fruit here, since the drops from both dragons are, ooh, there it is, the dark fruit, 25% chance. You want to fight the black dragon first so that you don't proc a power potion from the red. I'll be interested to hear why he fought that later. I'm sure he had a strat involved. We have a shadow in HabKeineName's screen. He's trying to get that to fight him so he can his half of the survive a deadly point.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if it may simply be options for RC at this point. We know that he has the charm fruit, was it? And so now he's got the dark fruit. Well, as you pointed out earlier, it just makes sense to rack up as many fruits as you can, because that gives you a greater opportunity to not only master form one of the capsules, but then to devolve the master form for yet another point.
Yeah, I want to see RealCritical fighting some white dragons here in a moment. That'd give him a chance to M-form and D-M-form Darby with a pretty fast feed, 2 quick points. That with a 25% chance of a white of a holy fruit from the dragons, other than the chance of them eradicating you, is pretty easy.
Yep. As chat's pointing out, RC with the patented RC healing strats, where he does not heal apparently between fights and almost loses a couple characters to a single Warm Eye.
It's a wonderful strategy, especially in a tournament that if you die from it, you can be mocked. But if not, he saves time, and he saves resources if he finds a healing tile.
And to be fair, I haven't really kept track. Do we know if RC has a healing spell? I'm pretty sure he does.
I'm sure. I haven't seen him get one, but RC wouldn't go this far without a healing spell. That's too bad of luck, right?
He has strong, so
yeah,
we'll see these Warm Eyes probably defeat him.
Okay, we see a point for No Name and Domskee. By the way, HabKeineName is German for I have no name, if you're wondering why we're alternating there. They got a half point for surviving the deadly, and now that's a full point that the other team didn't get. So a little bit advantaged them on that front, but the other runners are way deeper in the cave at this point.
I'm also wondering, is RC low on magic? He briefly scrolled through his items, and I didn't really see any magic right off the top there.
There is a dragon playing keep away from the core for Hoppie. He finally managed to Tecmo Super Bowl around it, but he's trying to get that no core. There's a lot of XP. It runs away, sadly. But he does conciliatory green core to stay.
Mike with the hand egg reference. I like it.
We say some cores in HabKeineName's screen. These are green cores because these 41 through 43. The last of the cores are where Hoppie is, who just found Destroy, 58 through 60. After that, we won't see any more wonderful XP giving cores.
Whoa. So Dom is an interesting sandwich.
He should be fine as long as he doesn't get Dark Force spammed, which is a deadly attack that these rogues can do.
Yeah. He's now essentially got the Iron Gorm block with the gargoyles.
Ooh, he has Iron Gorms all over the place.
We'll see if he knows how to do the dodge there. Very nice.
He might even have to do this stutter step move, depending on... Oh, no, he has the stairs. He doesn't have to worry about that.
So Hap is still pretty, another ring. Wow. That one's no good, but it's just funny to see.
RealCritical snapped Trick, by the way. Go ahead.
That's huge. Hap is still kind of really slowly and deliberately going through the cave, trying to pick up as many points as he can. That might end up hurting his ability to reach the jelly. But as we know from the scoring system, that's just one of the strategies that you can use. Whoa! What are we seeing here with Hoppie?
Oh! I'm seeing him getting smashed by 2 Hyadors. They're going to get 10 attacks on him. I didn't see what led to this, but he'd better hope Artie stays alive. Because Artie is his best chance of escaping. Okay. He had run away. He must have face-checked him.
Yep.
Wanted to showcase in the finals here how dangerous these guys are, but he's level 29, pretty high level, so I'm sure he felt confident of surviving while running.
Let's go with that.
Okay, didn't it look like he got... Did he get the surprise again? I didn't see first strike come up.
Yeah.
Back row Decker. Okay.
He's trying to 50-50.
Okay, he has a freeze ball. He's looking at his options here. He can stun one, so it can't do anything. Then the others get 5 attacks.
Right.
And then kill the one that isn't stunned with the freeze ball, and just hope that the 5 attacks from the surviving one don't royally destroy him. I think that's what he's going for here. Yep, there's a freeze ball. Unfortunately, his deadly user has to use, but...
Yeah, but it's worth.
Okay, a little bit of preemptive miracle, I like that. Sorry, I'm missing the action for the other guys. This is too... Oh, triple attack. Okay, so they use their AoE.
Yep.
One of them's frozen now. You could see some black dragons fought by RC, which was interesting. Let's see if he killed them. Get more freeze balls. There's a spell deflect, so if he's thinking about... Actually, is RC past Sphinxes? See what floor he goes down into here. I didn't see that he actually encountered any Sphinxes to even get that half point.
Yeah, so I'm not exactly... Go ahead.
Fedora broke out of its freeze, its paralyzation, and now is smashing everybody for 5 hits. Already goes down. this is a pretty dicey situation. But he ran away, so he survived. He's really playing it risky with
two freeze balls in that fight, and yet still, I don't know if at one point already missed with a deadly. The reason he's trying so hard here is there's a great drop called a Hedora Rock that's great for his team agility, but also we know he's got 2 Sky Swords, and I'm sure he would love to pair a Sky Sword with a Hedora Rock, as chat pointed out.
Inches open with Knife Thrower on HabKeineName. Ouch.
It's quite an open.
See how this goes. And see what his inputs were. He does a Firebird to get some AoE damage, a weak attack from Maxim, another attack on Guy. Okay, he should be fine here. And I don't think he has a deadly if he's using Firebird on ninjas. Domskee going for the status effect point. He got down to 1, a Siren, and it put his whole party to sleep. He woke up and he's out here, takes a point. 1 point game.
Bingo.
Hoppie's seen enough of high Hedoras. He's a bit sandwicher. He's hoping one lets him out.
Man, speaking of PTSD.
Okay, he opts to go for the dragon and the dinosaur and just get away. Prudent move.
Yeah, I think Hoppie is referring to what Ellie said here in chat. I think Hoppie is scaring himself. So I'm not sure what he has exactly for Hedora slang, but Hedoras are weak to ice. The flying ones are weak to flying. There's lots of options. And like I said, he used 2 freeze balls in that last fight. That usually is a recipe for victory.
If you blinked, you missed it, but RealCritical just killed an Orky and is going to snag that point, the 70s point incentive. But he didn't get any Sphinxes, so that's more points possible to catch up with from Domskee and HabKeineName. Domskee going for Hedora's crit with the Air Whip for 1,000 damage. No drop though. Pretty low percentage. That's 15-20% range.
So as you pointed out, it's pretty early in the 70s, I think, for RC. He's just now hitting the stairs, and he already did get that point by beating an Orky. Yeah, he's still on 73. So it's going to be a bit before he can even think about the next point incentive, which I think I've noticed runners skipping, which is the defeating.
I haven't even counted the genies I killed because it seems so low percentage. But last week we saw that Domskee and HabKeineName get that point, so it can be done. And ooh, look at that, was sweet. Did you see the back attack?
Yeah.
Domskee got. He used the 2 Hedoras to be up against each other, and when the bottom one moved up, it moved up into the one above it, and acted like a wall or a chest, essentially, so that you can move 2 steps and get a back attack. Sadly, again, not rewarded with a drop. That's been a bit kind of a theme of his run.
And it really just shows how quickly you can get good at running the cave skillfully, because there's so many excellent resources currently in place. If you check out the Ancient Cave Discord, there is a channel right at the top called Resources. And there's all kinds of stuff there, like strategy guides, movement guides, tips and tricks. Lots of helpful people in the community to help you become as good a runner as you can, as fast as you can. And he's really put the time and effort in.
Oh, HoppieTheFool with the Decker Blade.
Decker Blade!
As RealCritical gets an Iris Pot. So now we have 2 runners in good jelly kill position as far as items go. You saw Hoppie trying to get a Hedora Rock and no drop. We also saw RealCritical try to get a Gorgon Rock, which is a 1/8 fractional that you can use one time, and he didn't get the drop off that either.
So one thing you may not be realizing is that our runners are also in voice channels together. So they're actually strategizing in real time as they go through. And some of the things that they're doing could affect their teammate. So they're constantly in communication. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, we got a Gatie's Blade for RealCritical. He's smiling right now. That attacks 8 times to the ultimate finisher. We know he has Trick. So either his Decker or Guy is going to be unloading some damage on the Jelly. Do you know if he has any fractionals yet, RealCritical?
I don't think that he does. We know that he's got the 2 deadly rods, but I don't know if he has a curse lifter. And of course, the elephant in the room at that point would be, well, what about a big fractional? And I don't know that he has a myth or an old or anything like that.
No, he's trying to outdo himself from last week where he got a 97 Decker Blade. He has to get 98 to top that.
Yep, and because he's got the Gatie's Blade with Trick, and if he were to pair like a big fractional with it, some of the other points start coming into play there. And if you look at your score tracker, in the upper right, there's a bunch of point incentives, all kind of centered around the Jelly fight. We have seen earlier in the tournament a no rings or rocks Jelly kill, which was worth an extra point. And was that also RC?
I don't recall. Wonder.
I think it was.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think on my Jelly kill I had a rock on, but I don't remember. We've seen quite a few Jelly kills, honestly, compared to last year, this tournament, and we're possibly in line to see some more now.
So I guess another consideration is if it ends up being Decker who does the Gatie's Blade, and his capsule is somebody other than Sully, it may risk his getting a Jelly kill before the final move.
Right, if he has a Gatie's Blade, in this format, we see a Curse Lifter for Domskee. Wow, he has a lot of toys. What he could do is use that Gatie's Blade in turn 2. And that way, normally use it in turn 3, but you have a better chance of being the kill before your last turn if you're not using Gatie's Blade on your last move, right?
That's awesome. I would have never even thought of that. But yeah, especially like if you've got a big fractional and in turn 1 you've got 2 of your characters doing double trick, then why not, right?
Yep, that's right. And No Name looks like he's going for the status effect point. We're still very tight, 8-6. Each team in good Jelly kill position. Hoppie and RealCritical deeper down in the cave. We only have 40 minutes left. This is looking as good as a finale as I can hope for. Face fronting. He's running away. He's the No Name is kind of doing the strat we were talking about.
Yep.
Gets a dupe de wah. That's rare.
Is that silence?
I believe that's mute, and boom, there are 3 characters. He has the point, 1 point game again.
Yep.
Right now, I cannot predict a winner.
Yeah, the scores do look a little bit low, but that just shows you how much trouble they've had picking up some of the points along the way, but it's been equal across both teams.
7 and 8 isn't terrible at this stage in the game. There are a lot of points to kind of accumulate at the end. Like, everybody's basically holding a point in their back pocket to Providence and switch their party. Depending on curse lifters and how many, if they have duplicates of an item, they might have that in their back pocket. They could have the fruit to M-form their capsule. So that's a point that can maybe get, can be achieved upon feeding at any time. And some players may have a ring that can only be equipped by the ladies, like an earring or a dia ring. And if they Providence out, they can then equip that. So there's quite a few kind of last minute points that can be had. I don't know what position the runners are to get those at the moment.
You pointed out against ninjas that maybe didn't have a deadly. It looks like that is the case because he's using spells here with Artie against his Segadors.
The HoppieTheFool with a non-surprise attack move on Warm Eyes. Let's see how he handles this. He escapes. Recently, Squee, you taught me the best way to handle this exact situation he's in. He's gonna fight him and try to kill him, but since he's pretty fast, ooh, miss from Artie. He's potentially in trouble again. Let's see how this goes. If he front faces him and gets an encounter, then moves up and moves left, they won't move up. He'll get a chance to side it, just be side by side with him, and then they can't surprise attack you, and that's how you die.
Yep.
Looks like he'll be okay here, but he's opting to kill him. Gives some fedoras on Domskee's screen, who gave Hoppie so much trouble recently.
And his deadlies are deadly. That was easy peasy.
He'll follow that up with some. He didn't get the drop again, but follow up with some cores. Hoppie escapes his warm eyes. They're not fun. Which is a little confusing to me because when the game opens, it says serious fun. So I'm lost.
So if anybody's kind of newer to this game, if you don't follow usually, and you're interested, for one, make sure you follow Lufia 2 on Twitch. There's people streaming the Ancient Cave every single day. It seems like sometimes all day long. It's been really popular, and the speedrun community is really boosted. But also, I see recently a lot of people playing the main quest as well. And if you have any questions about what's going on, feel free to ask in chat. Not only are we looking at chat, but there's people in chat who can help with the questions.
Ooh, RealCritical. I'm not sure what floor he's on, but might be looking at some Archfiends and potentially leeches with them.
Yeah, so this is the Ancient Cave side quest to the main quest. And what we play is gift mode, where you get to choose your team. And that's where we usually play all of our speedruns from and tournaments. So is this a forced?
Yeah, forced. He has to beat it. He was considering zapping the leech, which was interesting, but instead opted to go after the Archfiend. Good thing his deadly hit because his other two characters got status effect. He'll be fine with the Archfiend dead. He's going to run away, most likely, unless he's feeling very confident, and try again.
See, I kind of like... I've done that before where I do zap the leech, because it guarantees, as long as you didn't get status affected or killed, that guy is out for round 2, but also he didn't have a group heal, so it didn't make any sense. Normally you would have Maxim in the back row trying to survive, and then, oh no, he does have champion. Sorry. I think both were okay strats. He went with a hit and run.
That's my preferred method too, I like it. Alley for Domskee. You will have a cheap revive, 10 MP. RC activates an Archfiend. He activates both of them.
Yeah, they were so awkwardly placed. He did a great job there, though. Alright, so he's to 81.
Getting close.
Yeah, check your score sheet, but again, that's the one that's been the least popular, perhaps. The defeating of the forged genie types on purpose.
And both players have to get it, so it's a pretty tough point to get.
And a little bit tough to keep track of.
It's only a 1-point game, and they have the time advantage because they're farther, so they might actually say, hey, since we are ahead in time, maybe we should try these genies. But of course, genies can kill you too. They have a 24% chance to use a special AoE. That hits you 3 times, and it's good night.
Okay, so that was a forced genie. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going for the point incentive, but we'll be thinking about that. He has defeated a well genie so far. And there's an old sword for Hoppie,
who already has a Decker Blade, so that's 2 strong fractionals. Old Sword can be used by Guy and Maxim, so Hoppie has to be sitting really close to a kill. Do we know if he got a Cancer Rock too? I think he is in kill position. He's opting to fight the Leech and the boat. Love that boats are in Ancient Cave, by the way. Last year, there was a point incentive to get surprise attacked by a boat. That was my favorite one. The points are good this year too, but surprise attack by a boat, that's great news.
We see a little feeding going on in RCs. It looks like
Oh,
he is.
Go ahead. He's going for Blaze M form, which is awesome. Hopefully he'll learn Inferno and we'll see some Inferno on the jelly. He's gonna need that extra damage. He doesn't have much for fractionals.
Does that mean he's going for the M form he didn't even recognize last week? Who was that? Yeah, because we know he's got the Charm Fruit. The Dark Fruit he ended up not needing or using, which is fine. It gave him some options. And
Yeah.
as fans of the game, what we're hoping is that his M form Blaze is a Phoenix. Learns Inferno because it's got a really cool visual and sound effect.
Even if it doesn't learn Inferno, he also has Tailspin, which is really powerful pirate stuff on HoppieTheFool.
Yeah, I think we saw a Tailspin for Dom last week. It was awesome.
And as we talked earlier about the magic fruit he got, he's happy to have it now.
Now, feeding can take a lot of time off the clock, but we got a lot of time left now. He's gone very quickly. He's like at 81, floor 81 right now. And he's going to want, of course, have it evolve before his jelly fight to help him out. And who
Then he wants to learn Inferno. That was Domskee who found champion a moment ago.
Lufia.
Yeah, M4 and Blaze might be my favorite M4. He's cool. See if he farms mobs to try to learn that Inferno. He needs as much damage as he can get. He fed a red saber, so he must have a plan for Maxim. He has a Mist Rapier equipped for a secondary red saber.
He's just feeding like crazy. But he's also keeping in mind not to feed any resources he might need against the jelly.
Looks like Domskee might be going for a Dark Fruit drop as well. I just saw him fight the Dragon group in the late 60s.
Yeah, and chat, can you help me out on this? It looks like Dom does have a deadly equipped on both Tia and Maxim. Do we know if he has any Curse Lifters?
I thought I saw him get a Curse Lifter, so he has at least one.
Okay. And he's got a Decker Blade, so it's okay if he ends up with just one. He'll be lifting the curse, of course, on Maxim, and Tia can be doing other things to assist.
Especially with those elemental rings dishing out some high damage spells on the jelly. Did see one person fight a Sphinx. I don't think we're going to see the Sphinx point this round. Guess it's still possible. Ooh! Domskee with a back attack on the Warm Eyes.
He got back attacked?
Yes.
Okay.
He ran away, but they were faster.
Okay, so he's gonna go through 8 hits here, and then if he can't get the escape, it's gonna be 8 more.
Ooh, there goes Artie. That was his chance of escape. Pretty high level though, 34. I think he'll survive.
Okay, so I misspoke before. It's Tia and Artie who have deadlies for him, not Max.
He does not need hold gates. Absorb is exactly what he wants to see right now.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
See how much a hit is? 92. That's quite a bit. Is it going to be close? Oh, Dom. Oh, man.
Wow. Decker the Tank.
He barely
And
ran.
in that way, in a way, being surprise attacked also saved his life because it forced Decker to the back row, which is what kept him alive.
Yikes. Saved by that absorb, which did no damage.
And, oh man, we got some dangerous stuff here. We got double Archies now.
Oh, that's really bad. I hope he doesn't have to beat those. Hopefully he can just run away and get by.
Oh, Double Thunder. Artie's gone.
And oh no! Oh no! He must have been forced to fight. This is likely GG. Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
Double Archfiend's the most dangerous combo in the cave, in my opinion. Some people say Archfiend Leech, also very dangerous, but HoppieTheFool takes an exit from deeper into the cave. He might be able to pick up some points that he missed earlier on. They do have a 9 to 7 point lead. He was the Decker Blade carrier.
Yeah.
They did have a bit of a tactical advantage. Now it's right about even again.
So he's still got some opportunities here. So if we look at the scorecard, he's probably thinking right now about getting that providencing out and switching his party. But on the way there, as you can see from the scorecard, he can still get defeat a red core with attack inputs. He can still earn a fruit from a battle, 21 to 30.
Domskee in a bit of a dangerous room. Very small room with gold worms, white dragons. Sphinx, keep going, Squeak, sorry.
No, I was done there.
Alright, so he's going to try to survive this, and he has 27 minutes. He needs to get on quite a few floors. Ooh, a miss with a deadly. He's got double deadly, misses twice. It's going to get scary. Let's see how these gold worms treat him. Okay, no golden mist, but one deadly user down. What would you do here, Squee? Run or fight?
I would fight, but he used the deadly on the ones that already been knocked down. Yeah.
Yeah, he did that one on. He was one Decker hit from being killed. Now he's still not. Oh, okay, he's fine.
He's fine. He made it interesting.
When your heart's moving that fast, it's hard to make prudent life decisions. Alright, this room got a lot less scary.
So Hab is fighting Sphinx. I'm looking at the scorecard here, and he has not status affected one yet, and I don't know if he's going to attempt to or not.
They both are on Sphinx floors now, so I think they're communicating with each other in chat, saying, "Hey, Domskee, did you get the point?" He says, and Domskee says, "I'm looking for it. I'm on the floors right now." Although Domskee did just see a Sphinx in that room that he might have exited a little quickly to stay alive. So I'm not sure what their strats are right here. It looks like Hab is just going to kill these Sphinxes too. But they need to make up some points. They're down by 2. RC is further down. And Domskee sitting with a likely jelly kill. So are they going to try to get these points, or are they going to try to fly down and try to get a jelly kill and maybe some easier points, such as the Orky, the Dark Summoners, and getting to 98? RealCritical did not want Maxim to die there. He was sitting pretty good on IP. Now he's going to have to farm that IP back. Still trying to get some fractionals from the Gorgons. This is so tight.
Yep. So again, I love the scoring system that Ellie's put together here, making it tight all the way through. If anybody in chat has anything that they would like to see come back next time, let us know in chat. Or if there's anything that you'd like to see that we don't currently do, let us know that as well, and I'm sure Ellie will consider it next time he does a Jelly Jam.
You can follow Ellie at the Elieson, and if you really want to support him, he has a cool apron emote if you want to sub. Floor 68 for Domskee. He got 30 floors to go in 25 minutes. Very doable. But he's also weighing what other points he wants to try to take along the way. Double silvers for RealCritical. What's he going to do here? He must be very fast. Does he have a...
Yeah, I was going to say that was face to face.
Does he have a dragon spear on? Not sure
that
what.
was Hoppie, I think, that had the dragon spear.
Okay. Well, that was lucky to run away that fast. Regardless.
I know. That was lucky. I was very surprised. Now, he does have the Sonic ring, I think.
Yeah, I haven't seen his agility situation. I'm sure it's pretty good, but even so, that's not. He's never going to be in a position where he's 100%. Run away from 2 silvers. Domskee, bit of a scary place with some leeches. think he got some IP out of it, so he'll be happy with that.
So anyone watching now, this is our championship, but this is not the end of the tournament. Coming up next at approximately 2:30 is the third place match. And that should actually be really fun because there's no pressure at that point to win the tournament. They might do some crazy stuff and take some real risks. It's going to be a really fun hangout starting at 2:30 right here.
Yeah, and those are the two highest scoring teams in the tournament so far too. So they'll try to put on a show for you.
I can only expect Mrs. Mike Mike will be using Lexus.
I doubt it. She hates Lexus with a fiery passion, but I need to do very good so I can get from sleeping on the couch. There's a silver sword for Real Critical. That's a little bit more damage, but it's all for naught if he doesn't get the good fractional.
And Dom now just being ridiculous and hogging all the Decker blades. It's really not very sportsmanlike of him to do that.
Ooh, look at this position for Real Critical. He has two dragons in a tight hallway. He's gonna hope that they don't move towards him and get him pincered. Dark fruit for Domskee. They're gonna smile at those points. Looks like they'll probably M-form Flash. I just Gusto. Okay, yep, M-forming Flash. First fight for Real Critical is a silver copper. He's looking at his MP and has none. I think he's kind of hoping he could cast Destroy. We'll see a miracle or high. There's the high magic now.
But yeah, go ahead.
Silver's down, so even if that deadly missed like it did and the copper goes, he should be in a decent position on this first fight.
Yep, and what he did there was he positioned himself to try to get a 50-50. He did, and then he won the 50-50, then taking out the silver, which really made this fight pretty easy. And now he's going to try to do something similar with that last dragon.
It was a very wise tactical decision because even though he could have ran and kept moving, he could have got pincered by the other remaining dragons, so it really behooves him to take them out. We see No Name fighting double black dragons now too. They are wanting to pick up those quick M-form points on Flash. Oh, it looks like he's IP farming too. Kind of an early IP farm, but he's confident.
Yeah, and he might actually think he's got a kill, and he just wants to save as much time as possible, trying to go back in if he can save any time, and do one of the other point incentives. Not for sure here.
That's a great point, Elieson. Domskee could go for the Spark Staff Fire Ring combo on the Jelly if one of his characters doesn't have a Curse Lifter.
So there was a Myth Blade for Hab. That is 1/4 fractional that doesn't start showing up in the cave until floor 60. So it can be sometimes tough to get your hands on.
Okay, can chat confirm that RC does not have a fractional at this time?
Yeah, he may not have the lifter for the rod, and then of course that only gets you partially there, even with a Gades and double trick.
And a silver sword.
And there's our Inferno!
Oh, you learned Inferno. Nice. Wonderful.
Ellie, can we get him a bonus point, please?
I was just about to ask the same question. If Inferno's used on the Jelly.
Ooh, I like it.
Okay, more dragons for RC. Gold! Silver does not get the 50-50. What does he do? I think I attack the gold.
He tries to get that escape. He knew he got it before.
Oh no.
So he rolled the dice that he would get it again.
With an AoE, he can't take another Stardust blow. There it is.
Now Decker's at least back road. Silvers are classic for...
Tread. Oh, he tried twice.
No.
Gold dragons never killed anyone, but gold and silvers evidently can.
Yeah.
This is not over. They still have a 2-point lead here. They have time to get some of the points down here, and it's gonna be close, but that definitely shifted advantage to Domskee and HabKeineName.
So we don't know for sure if the runners are following each other, but this would be a situation where it would probably help Dom and Hab to know what's happening with their opponents. You never want it to affect what your plan is going in, but it might affect like the risks that you do or don't take, or how quickly you want to move.
Oh, that was brutal. So other options there. It's a really bad situation. We have double Orkies for Domskee, and he just goes to plow through them. One deadly misses, the other one hits. They have something like 3,200 hit points or so he's not going to beat him down. He needs his deadlies to hit here. Thank you. So this, once he didn't get the 50-50, they had 5 attacks coming.
Right.
Silver Dragons have 2 skills they use that don't do any damage to you at all.
Yep.
I think in that case, I might have rolled the dice knowing Artie is faster and hoping that 80% hits that gold dragon. If I have a smoke ball, Decker's using that. If not, miracling Artie for hopefully another chance at a deadly attack. But in a tournament, he'd already run away once. I think he's just hoping that would work again.
Yep. And it's just, again, about how much risk you want to take. You just never want a gold to take their turn.
Yeah, exactly. It's at that point, it was a very low percentage life. That's exactly how he needed to do it. He needed to either be very patient and move the dragon to the left and hope he could get a back attack, or do that 50-50 maneuver that we just saw.
And we're pretty confident he did not have a smoke ball, or he definitely would have used it there.
With that Orky kill, yeah, that's right. He would have used it with Artie. Got it. With that Orky kill, it's a 9-8 score, so there's still a 1-point lead. Did Hoppie just Providence out?
No, he died to Gorms.
So he has 16 minutes left to get the Providence. And are there any other points that he missed? Did he get? Let's look at the score here. See if he got any.
Still do the red core.
Oh, good. That's a pretty common one to get too. And he didn't find the ring also, so he could find a ring and get a point, and he could a core and get a point, and then Providence out. That 3 points right now would be pretty huge.
So Dom may be looking to speed some things up here. He's running out of time. He's only on floor 74. We know he's got a Decker blade. We know about the elemental rings. But if he gets in a situation where he's stuck in a treasure room or something, he might not have time to make it to the jelly.
Right. And if he gets to the jelly and gets a kill, they will likely win. So he's trying to weigh the points right in front of his face, like fighting Orkies and Dark Summoners, with the 15 minutes he has left to get to the bottom, make sure it's full IP, and get a kill. And that's 22 scary floors. Meanwhile, Hob, as far as point strategy here, I think... Oh, there's a water ring for Hoppie. He is happy about that. Okay. This is so close still. Even with the deaths. HabKeineName is in a dangerous position. He had 1 character left, but he has revives.
So was that water ring what took their score to 10 there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So now he needs to fight some cores, and that'd be a point. And then Providence. He can do all that in the remaining time. Meanwhile, let's see what RC has available to him. He can also Providence. If he gets lucky with Curse Lifters and cursed items, he could possibly get that point. And the interesting there is if he gets a Curse Lifter and like Ice Belt, he might actually consider farming Deadly Swords and Deadly Armors for their cursed items in hopes of getting 2. It's a strat that's up his sleeve. But he already has the red core and the ring, so pretty much the Providence is the only likely point available to him.
And maybe you can, I didn't do very much practicing or running with the scoring system, but it seems like maybe from 80 to the jelly is a little bit of a point where you're not really gaining points. If you're going to skip the genies and you're running out of time, you're not going to do the summoners. It's like a period where you're not accumulating any points. You're really just, it comes down to getting to the jelly, getting that point, and if you're going to fight them or immediately Providence and start doing other point strats.
Right, Domskee's probably thinking right now, just rush down to the jelly and take a W and the championship. Oh, but the floors like
this is what we talked about.
Oh my gosh, there are 3 Archfiends and a Genie, and somebody's on the stairs.
So this is floor 81. Does that follow into one of RC's new rules that he's found about?
He was just on a floor though that had Ice Rogue, so should be though. It goes no Sprite and Sprite, and he just had 2 Ice Rogues, so that makes me think this can't be it. Is he's up? You say he's 81 though?
Yeah.
I thought 81 was a good floor, so he might be in okay shape other than all the time this is going to spend. I mean, he has 12 minutes and quite a ways to go, and he's going to have to fight his way through this.
And we
No-Name's
also
still trying to get... Oh, go ahead.
We also don't know if he even knows what we're talking about, if he knows about the, what enemies fall on what floors per... Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he does, because he's demonstrated knowledge on just about every other tech, new or old. Otherwise, HabKeineName is going for Black Dragons, trying to get a Dark Fruit. He wants to, in the remaining time, he wants to M-form his capsule. And yes, 81, this is a good floor. Sure, Eve is pointing that out in chat right now.
And so what we're saying, just to be clear, we're saying that there could not be an Archfiend in these sprites?
An Archfiend, well, yeah, no Archfiend Lich, no double Archie. There could be an Archfiend Rogue, I think.
I got you.
I thought that was the case, but I'm not seeing it. So maybe he's just getting lucky without seeing any of it. And they're all down.
Yep.
Just the genies now, but wind genies are not pleasant. Okay, 2-point lead, and it's still really close. Is Hoppie on core floors almost? I think I saw him on 9 a second ago. We'll be watching closely to see if he gets that core. That's going to be a pretty pivotal point. Because just by getting 98, Domskee gets a point.
Yes.
And I think we can say HabKeineName is just trying to get a fruit drop, and it's not working out for him. He's trying to get 1 or 2 more points. The most I'd say he can get 2 points. Well, the Providence too, though. Let's just say everybody can Providence out. That's kind of a wash. Domskee now with Archfiend Leech, and he has to fight him.
So now that he's on 82, it is the bad combo. And again, what we're referring to, I know it's hard for us to explain, but if you check out RealCritical's guide.
The core stays. Trying to beat it down. He's done 2 damage. He has to do 8 more with 2 attacks, and he got it. 11 to 8.
Got it. Wow.
And at this very moment, the tiebreaker is determined by who's been deepest in the cave, which has been RealCritical. Domskee's close to passing that mark.
Yeah, and he wins that tough fight right there.
There's a lot of floors to go, not much time left, and his Maxim died, so he doesn't have IP on him. Oh, he's fighting the genies. They're going for that genie point. Wow. I would be zipping down at the jelly,
But that's a team point, right?
and so they both have to do it, and no, HabKeineName can't be farther than 73 because he's just fighting Black Dragons. Oh no! RealCritical gets wiped There's 9 minutes left. Can the Providence % King get down and get a Providence?
I'm sure that's what he wants to be known as.
Well, one of his many titles, I'm sure.
One of his many titles, yes.
Domskee, did he prov?
He did.
That's interesting. Wow, I think that switches momentum and points right back to RC and Hoppie. Because they're down by 3, they're about to be down by 2. But Hoppie should get the Providence point. And I think RC's going to too. I've seen him run a lot of Providence %. Which really leaves HabKeineName. Oh, I know why he did it. I bet you he didn't get early points. Let's see if he's gonna go for. Let's see, Domskee did not defeat a core, and we know he had a ring. So he's going for the core point. Still, he forewent a lot of points to Providence. I didn't see what his situation looked like, if he felt like that was gonna eat all his time, but you can get down those floors pretty fast. Maybe this is a percentage for being a newer runner, not having done a lot of any %, that maybe it seems a little insurmountable to go down 20 floors in 10 minutes. So what can HabKeineName do right now to pick up the points he needs? He's on floor 77. Does he have the Orky Sling?
Yeah, and chat's pointing out that everybody has marked their ring point except Hab, and of course he's not going to be getting one unless he pulls one out of a blue chest or gets the heck out of the cave and re-enters.
Now I do see that Dom marked the point for all the genie types, so Hab can, I think he Providenced before RC, so I think RC's team still has the tiebreaker. So give HabKeineName a point for the Orky, and then the genies, and then Providence out, and where are we? We're still at a tie, so he also has to get deep enough, and that's a lot to do in 5 minutes. But if Domskee gets the point for the cores, he can pick up one of those there. Man, this is so close. We're basically watching to see if RC and RealCritical can Providence and change their teams. If Domskee can get a core, and if HabKeineName can defeat Orkies, and I don't think we're going to get that many genies that fast.
I was going to say, is that what Dom was doing as he was defeating the 4th kind of genie
Yeah.
and then Providencing?
Yeah, that's what it looked like. But that really, to get that point, relies on HabKeineName also to do it.
So chat, what do you guys think of the decision to do the Providence there? Do you think it was worth, even if he didn't want to take the time to do an IP build, running down to 99 to get the point for arriving at the jelly and then Providencing?
HabKeineName is past Orkies. He might have to, since he doesn't have the ring, he could Providence out and try to get a ring. But that only gets them tied. He really needs to get the tiebreaker, which is getting deeper than RC was, which was, I believe, the late 80s.
So again, we're watching here to see if Dom can get to the core floors, and are we saying he still can get a point for beating one with physical attacks?
Yeah, Dom can beat cores and get a point. But I think we can still get a let's look at the Providence points available for RealCritical's team. I think they're both there, yeah. So if they can both Providence out, I think they're going to get a win here. Siege picks up some levels.
Yeah, Hoppie's on 21. Is that when it
Which is
first
when
starts to
Providence
appear?
starts. Yep. So
Okay.
Providence can drop, but it doesn't have to. He can spend the next 3 minutes opening and not get it. Oh, Hoppie's fighting. I mean, No Name is fighting genies. I don't think he has time to beat four of them unless he has to progress. RealCritical's in some trouble with chests. This is pretty climactic for all the action pretty much taking place floors 1 through 22. Providence for HoppieTheFool, which is a commanding 3-point lead with just 3 minutes left.
Yeah, and like you said about the time, I don't know that Hap's got the time, because I don't think he's got any genie kills up to this point.
Nah, he definitely doesn't have the time. Really, his best bet is probably getting farther than RC, Providencing out, and then finding a ring. A lot of floors, though. A lot to do. Don't know what his Cursed Lifter and Cursed Item situation looks like. And did Domskee get cores?
Not yet. What floor is he on here?
To be.
Ooh, this is his last core floor.
I just saw a core. There's 2 minutes left, and I think we're about to have 2 point. Oh, they all ran away. Rule. He can't take those stairs. His only chance at a point is to find a core, and he's on the last floor for him.
Oh man.
There it is. There's a core. Yeah. So
at least once he wants the other two to go now.
Hob got to get the tiebreaker floor, which I don't even know what that is. It's 80 something. And you have to Providence out, and we have a 1-point game. Now Hoppie's sitting on a Providence point in his back pocket, which is probably the game winner. Let's see. Okay, hey, it appears that there was a time clock issue, and we are extending time by 3 minutes. This is not over yet. We have 3 remaining minutes after the time clock expires. So I hope the runners can be notified that not to stop in 30 seconds. And that may just give it's 11-11 score. Didn't see where that last point just got picked up. Was it the genie point, perhaps? I didn't see how. Yeah, they didn't mark. That was 4 genies. I only saw him fighting 2. A score checker check on that.
Somebody in chat was paying attention.
Out. He Providenced out. Did he get farther down? He did not get farther down. The tiebreaker after Hoppie Providence out would go to Team RealCritical and Hoppie, and they would win unless HabKeineName in the next 3 minutes can find a ring and equip it. He's giving Iris treasures. Needs to go in and pick up some rings.
Yeah, so I don't think
hey,
there's
a dark mirror. Hey, did he? Is that the second dark mirror? Because you can uncurse in Rubric. Okay, he's putting his 3 irises. Well, that's a lot of irises. He had 4 irises. He has a couple minutes left, so let's see. They marked the iris point. No, they did not. He needs to get back and get open, because this is not over yet. There's 2 minutes left, and we have a tiebreaker that I believe goes to RealCritical right now. Okay, he's back in.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any way that he would have known to keep going to try to break the tiebreaker, because he would have had to like been.
Hoppie didn't have the fruit point and just pulls it out.
Did he?
You take the lead again.
Yep. This is a crazy ending.
Found by HabKeineName can give them a win. He only has a minute and a half to do it.
So Hoppie got so excited that he's frozen here, right? Oh yeah, we got a commercial.
All he has to do is Providence, though. And I think that decides it. I don't see how, as long as my theory is right about who is on the deeper floor,
So
I don't.
it appears he providenced.
Yeah. So he's providencing out, taking the 2-point lead with a tiebreaker. I think that's going to settle it. What a great match. I guess in the next round, we're going to have to show everybody what the jelly kills look like. But this was incredibly tight.
And
Curse was here for the puppy.
but were you saying that it still is for a point if they would have lifted the curse in town?
Yeah. So if you have 2 dark mirrors and you uncurse one in town, you are holding a cursed and uncursed of the same item. You can get a point that way. $13-12.
Oh, let's see.
What-
If you hover on that question mark, it says it is allowed. Okay.
So what was that last point that Dom and Hab got?
Did he get a ring?
Let's see.
No.
They could find an iris, I guess, and
Okay, it was something that he didn't mark before.
oh, there's a
Providence.
Yeah.
And that's the match. Holy crap, that was close.
GG.
All right, guys, that is it. The clock adjustment has been accounted for, and the match is done.
The match is done or not?
Good game, guys.
I don't wanna do this anymore.
I'm very sorry to tell this, but now I really gotta say, Domskee has been a huge asset this this event. But right now I gotta say, screw you.
Wow.
I'm sorry. We're actually talking about that I wouldn't do this because we really thought, okay, we having a bad day today. The case is probably gonna be match resolved. So we're probably gonna lose by a big margin, and now we're 1 point apart. While he sadly wasted 2 points.
I wasted
Real
2
Critical
points.
has told me. Real Critical has told me, hey, I can score any number of points, but my goal, we're just gonna beat everybody by 1 or 2 points, and he's been true to his word. 1 point victory. Good job, guys.
Oh man.
By the way, sorry if I'm
GG,
not
I
stopping-
mean,
sorry if I'm not stopping playing. I decided to actually transform this into an Iris defense, so I'm gonna keep going.
Enjoy.
why are we
Yes,
doing stuff like this? We
definitely shot at Hoppie in the last minute. He was telling me, "Oh, the way I got the fruit, not Providence." So, yeah, he was totally carrying this one. I read
But
in
you-
chat that apparently I didn't have a. I didn't have.
you said, you know, I don't uncurse the deadly armor.
Very cutting out heavily, I guess.
Oh,
Hoppy's stream was cutting out a lot during the run, unfortunately, but when it came back on, it lagged just into the moment in which he saw the flame fruit pick up.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, we had the worst early game possible, and just no luck everywhere. And then unfortunately, Domskee made, as we found out soon after, sadly had 2 little hiccups that we forgot to actually uncurse the deadly rod because he had to.
True.
And,
Yeah.
and
I played the dog fruit in the wrong form. The timer made me so freaking nervous. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I mean, in the end,
yeah,
we
you
all
don't
had
have
a
to
lot
be
of-
sorry.
We all had a lot of fun. It was a great event. It was
we
a
did.
close race, so there is nothing to be sorry about, nothing to feel bad for.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely GG. I
Real-
mean,
we got like what, 13, 15, and 13 points?
yeah, we're 13 to 12. So, I mean, basically, we got the opposite of what HabKeineName just described. We felt pretty lucky the entire run. Hoppie probably had a kill. I definitely had a kill. What I was going to say before is that I read in chat that I apparently didn't have a fraction. I did have a fraction. I did have an uncursed Deli Rod. And in terms of throwing points away, I also could have uncursed an item. But because I wanted to use the uncursed Deli Rod, I didn't do that. So, yeah, I guess that was my point. Of course, the Gold Dragon. I am not allowed to say the words that I would like to say to describe that Gold Dragon. but
Hey, I found my
Strengths never kill anyone.
Only 3 minutes late. Can I still mark?
GG.
GG.
No.
Nice thundering.
So
You're allowed to mark. We win by tiebreaker then.
Yes, I would like to share for those in the audience too that aren't exactly sure what happened. The tiebreaker was based on how many jelly kills a team got. If there were multiple jelly kills, if that didn't happen, then the amount of damage dealt to the jelly or whatever, and then ultimately the bottom thing would be how deep a person got if no one made it to the jelly. And RealCritical had that at floor 87, and we thought Domskee or Hab were going to be able to take that over, because both were in the 80s,
Yeah,
and
same
both
here.
of them ended up exiting just before that happened. In lieu of that, went for the extra points instead. So it was a thrill the entire time. See, oh no,
So
they're
next-
out. Wait, are they going to get more points? We had no idea what to expect.
Hoppie was yelling at me because I kept looking at Domskee's and HabKeineName stream more than my own, and that's why I died the first time I went for Providence. But yeah.
Yeah, my big problem was the first time when I went for fruit grind on sand guards, because I actually had a pretty decent setup already with Deadly Sword, Deadly Rod, and with a few healing spells and good Iris spells. But then I was just like, yeah, okay, I missed so many goals. I'm just gonna take another go. I'm just gonna prof out already. And second round, I did get a few more goals, but it didn't exactly went better.
Yeah. I mean,
all
yeah.
we can say today, the cave didn't like any of us, from the sound of it, but we managed. It was a tight race, it was a goat race, and I'm not gonna be a sore loser. I'm just gonna say GG for the victory.
Yeah, it was a hell of a race. You guys gave a good show to everybody. The commentary was on point, and all four of you seriously did a wonderful job showcasing hilarious drops, great movement. Domskee did a pretty good job pulling the mic.
Devastating encounters.
Devastating encounters.
Devastating encounters.
Yeah, Hoppie, you playing with those Hydoras for a little while was giving me nightmares.
That was interesting.
Yeah, if we will watch the VOD and he will make probably force me next year to train Hydora movement
Yes. Agree.
with a whip.
Why though?
For next year, where we also get randomly assigned to the same team.
It's literally just the same movement as dragons. I would assume you would at least know how they move.
I mean,
Yeah, but I don't wanna fight
I
dragons
know
either.
Hoppie knows how to move.
If I could jump in
So
here.
anyway,
anybody
I would
who's in
like to
chat
point
now-
out because
Sorry, real quick, just want to point out, stick around because in
Oh,
about
yeah.
20 minutes, is it?
Yeah,
We're starting
about
the next-
15 to 20 minutes, we'll be getting ready for the next round, which is the final round of the Jelly Jam competition. That will be the match between commentaries Mike and Mrs. Mike versus Travitox and Colliers. Travitox and Mike being probably this event's two fastest spelunkers that we've seen during the tournament so far, so it'll be really exciting to see some extreme speed between those two competitors, and both teams being known for their fabulous teamwork. You can expect a lot of good coordination, hopefully some high points and a cooperative cave, and maybe we'll even get a jelly kill to end our final day with.
Yeah, and with the pressure
I'm
off, I
excited
think we're going to see some
about
risk taking and some meme type stuff, and I think it's going to be a great time.
Yeah. I just hope next year I have more than 13 points in my team. Or 15.
You'll manage.
During the
But-
intermission, Hab, I'm going to keep up your Iris percent transition.
Feel free to do so. Was anybody talked about Iris Percent by any chance already, or?
Yeah, we totally talked about it.
Because I did say Iris Percent confirmed already in chat. I did take that break after the fourth one. Probably just gonna, after we're cut off here, I'm probably gonna take like half an hour break to mentally prepare and then straight in for the rest.
So
great,
by the
we
way,
won.
voice is still on in the stream, just so you guys know. I'm not sure if you're aware, or Eli, if you're aware.
Yep, that's fine. I'm actually going to prepare to disconnect everyone here so that way we can get the next round ready to go. So everyone, again, thank you for coming and participating. Congratulations on making it to the finals. Definitely give a shout out to all the runners who ran today and give them a follow. The links to each of the runners' Twitches have just been posted in chat. So if you want to give them a well-deserved follow, you'll definitely be able to see some great shenanigans. Again, HabKeineName still running his Iris %, which is a meme in itself, but still, in my opinion, the only other real run that you can turn the cave into. Domskee being definitely the underdog of the championship, coming in with some fabulous movement technique and distance, and Hoppie and RealCritical both being very long-time experienced event running
Memesters.
Memesters that are well known in the cave community. And again, thank you RealCritical for building the tracker in which everyone was able to utilize to see and keep track of what was going on. It was a great help to this event, as it always has been.
Still want to say big respects to Domskee. If that's what he's capable of after like 2 months of caving, I don't want to see. I'm really interested that way around to see what he's gonna be like in a year. And
Yeah,
keep-
thanks, man.
Aren't those
And
alerts off? Why are they going off right now again? Jesus.
Shout out to professional streamers.
and congrats anyway to Hoppie and RC. I didn't say that. Did I say that already? I don't know. Congrats, guys.
GG to you guys as well.
GG, you guys.